have it. What should we do? Doff our hat, or take off my cap to say, well, welcome to our guest. That's Bolaji Alunga. You're welcome to Close Flow.
Thank you so much.
Incidentally, if I should let out the cat from the cat from the bag, many of you start looking at him as a small boy. So don't let me do that. Okay, but what I can tell you is this. Let me just paraphrase something that is very clear. In over a decade, he has been telling his own story using his camera all over the world. It's not just in Nigeria. But what he does is that anytime he travels, he takes Nigeria with him and shows to the world what this country is like. So the eyes of a Lagos boy, the sobriquet, that is the acronym that is being called, is actually very, very apt, because what that tells us is that Lagos, as the center of excellence in Nigeria, can actually change our story. Yes. So now let's see how that goes.
Thank you once again, it's great to be here to talk about nation building,
yes,
especially at this time of independence of Nigeria at 61.
Yes.
Mainly, this is about identification. It's about us as a people, and it's about documenting our history. Photography in itself, which is the approach the Eyes of a Lagos Boy project is about, using that to express who we are
as a people.
As a people. And, you know, etching out our own identity and driving the way forward, looking for solutions, using photography, using the arts. Because photography in itself has been a tool of colonialism. Many of the pictures from a century ago were taken by
foreigners.
By foreigners. You know.
We'll come to that in the course of our conversation, because again, some people are still of the opinion that colonialism is the root of our constant differences as a nation.
Well, you can say that. To a large extent, it is. But how do we correct that and continue to live together as human beings? How do we share the beauty of us
as a people?
As a people, how do we change the narrative? There's a narrative about Nigeria out there. There's a narrative when the foreign media, you know, there's a way they talk about it.
Yes.
There's this obsession with how resilient we are
as a people
living in this kind of condition. I understand there's that, but that's not the only thing about us. We need to talk about our story from our own angle to them out there.
Okay, great. That's beautiful. Let me quickly look at something that is a different angle as to what he's saying, because some people have said that photography, for instance, can actually make you do things that you do not expect, because it's about your emotion. So if you put the picture, okay, in front of you, you put your camera in front of an object that you want to shoot, what they're saying is that photography can actually change your perception once you begin to focus on that. How do you deal with that?
Yes, indeed. And as we all know, photography is art. The only difference now is that the photographer is using the lens and lights
to tell the story.
To tell the story. And it could mean anything to anybody. It has different kinds of interpretations to anybody. There are pictures I took 4 years ago, and things still spring at me 4 years after from the same picture. And sometimes it changes the whole narrative you've been building about the story. So it's very important. So this is why the Eyes of a Lagos Boy project is doing this. We are talking about Lagos. We are talking about the beauty of it. But at the same time, we understand that things are not easy, life is hard, people are struggling, there's go slow, and, and all of this. But we are still here. And there is still that part of us that works.
That we can tell, we can share with the world.
And definitely Lagos is not the most chaotic city in the world. I can tell you that.
Thank you. We will share with you, because your travels all over the world, we will need to come to that and ask about that. Something just occurred to me. Don Baba, one of the doyens in Nigeria's photographic space, you know, he has said to us that we have left out too many milestones. That we have left out too many milestones in the photographic expose of our history, of our growth, of our development, of our, how do you, it's like you're agreeing with that?
Yes, to a large extent, yes. Many of my friends don't have photos of themselves as kids, for example.
True.
So pictures
that is very, very true.
Yes. So I think many people really just didn't pay attention to it in the past.
Well, so many people, you're not excusing, or that, I mean, like you're saying, even if you look at it from government level to individuals, yes.
Yes, and also there's been this culture of waste. So many things have been destroyed. Many things that were filed from the past have been destroyed by flood, by negligence, by fire, and all of that. So we've not even been able to digitalize the few we have from the 70s, 80s, 60s, for example. But hope is not lost. The thing is, today, we have the internet.
Great.
And to a large extent, I know many people have smartphones.
Now,
people have phones with cameras. And it starts from there. The narrative, the way to balance this narrative of us starts from there.
So you're telling me there's some level of optimism in the fact that we have smartphones, so people can use smartphones.
Of course. Many of some of my masterpieces were taken with the smartphone. Some of them, I would say.
So you're saying to our audience that they should not just look at that phone as just to make calls?
No, not just that. It's a tool. It's a computer you're handling now. It's the world at your fingertip. You don't need a big camera. All you need is just that to start. Because I've heard people tell me,
yes, I don't have a camera.
Yes. You don't have to start from there. And humanity has never been bombarded with this barrage of information we are having today. It's from everywhere. So we as Africans, where do we stand? Are we going to have others tell our story?
Or do we take on the responsibility?
It's out there on the internet. Let it be there.
Wow. Okay, that's quite inspiring. That's quite inspiring. But the question is, why photography in the first place? Why? Of all the professions, many people, when you were growing up, you said, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be... So why photography?
We all cannot be
lawyers.
We all cannot be something. We all cannot be... We all have our interests. And for me, photography is something I'm fortunate to be born into, that's naturally for me. And then went on to study mass communication, and create this platform where we can give, not just representing Africans, we can give Africans the voice.
To speak up.
Hence, eyesofilagosboy.com, the website.
Yes.
Where we talk about music, we talk about not just photography, we talk about arts, we talk about culture, we talk about all of that. We talk about the beauty of us.
As a people.
As a people. And we put it out there for the world to see.
Okay, in this narrative that you're talking about, do we get to retell some of the historical facts? Some of the historical facts, either they have been twisted, or do we get a chance to do that?
Of course we do. We know there were things that happened in 1897.
For instance?
Yeah, 1897, for instance, right? When Oberamwe Nogbaisi was deposed. Now, there were things that happened even before then. But now we have a picture of that great king sitting looking desolate and exiled to Calabar away from his people.
Yeah.
Do you know how that can break a people? Why can't we have the pictures of exploits? Why can't we have representations of that? And these are the things we can even create from now on, because history is continuous. So for us now, hope is not lost. For us now, we can create, we can leave all those things for those coming. And thanks to the digital age, our footprints would always be there for the younger ones to see.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. But again, another aspect of the narrative that I'm looking at in terms of our cultural evolution would be something that we discussed here some time ago, and that's how tourism, because the figures, the data that I'm seeing about tourism, it's amazing that we don't seem to have anything to share with the world, when it comes to tourism. For instance, we know that due to COVID, so we look at 2019 figures, okay?
Yeah.
France actually earned its $9.4 million. No, visitors. Those are visitors to France. No, we don't want visitors. We want to see how much actually they earned. Okay? So USA is number one, $210 billion. That's USA, which is just 1.1% of the GDP from tourism. Now, Spain came second with $68 billion. Third, France, which all these countries you visited already, France came third with over $60 billion as well. But the miracle in this narrative is a small country, Maldives, an Indian archipelago, that earned almost $3 billion. Maldives is not as big as Lagos State.
No, this is very small.
So, yes, it's funny. So how come they can earn this kind of money that we are talking, how can they earn that kind of money?
You see, when we identify the problem, we've identified it. It's about our identity. Now, this identity is receiving a lot of bashing in the world.
Right now.
It's not easy. It's not an easy sell. There is this thing about it when you talk about Nigeria, it's Boko Haram. It is, really, it's still live out there, And you as a Nigerian, sometimes you're taken aback that how can you still be thinking like this? But again, is it not happening? It is. But that's not the only
story
about us.
I like what you keep saying that.
Yes, so there is that part that we don't even pay attention to. And there's this thing with playing with poverty porn, and there's been this in the last decade, especially from the Western media, there's this focus on makoko.
Yes.
It's a part of us. And yes, people live there. In the last 10 years that everybody's been celebrating this makoko, has things changed for them there?
No.
So what is going on? We need to talk about the other aspects of us. Not just the dirt, not just the slime, not just those things that don't work. At the same time, we carry these things, we maintain a balance. That is what we are talking about. So why would people want to go to France? Because France sells France. French citizens talk about how awesome Paris is. Champs-Élysées, all these places,
Whereas about Venice Palace is as big as or as beautiful as...
Exactly. And they keep, they keep putting this in their media. Why can't we do
the
that?
same?
It's already happening with a lot of photographers, a lot of documentary photographers out there are really doing an awesome job talking about us using the internet. But we need to do more.
Okay, brilliant again. I must say that's encouraging because what Bolaji is saying is that we can make Nigeria also a destination country if we know what we are doing, which is what the eyes of a Lagos boy is all about, is trying to capture and share with the world something that is notable or that is novel about Nigeria. But now, growing up in Nigeria and also in Europe, because I must let you must share with us your experience.
I didn't grow up in Europe.
Okay, you grew
in Lagos.
Yes, okay, but by the time you traveled to Europe, then what happened? Were you already fully grown?
Of course, this was after my university years, so I've been this Lagos boy that has witnessed and seen things and taken pictures even before the social media age.
Yes.
Yeah, there was this small digital camera I had in the 90s when I was in the university. So we've been telling this story in our own way. But now that it's all digitalized, let us use it. Let us pump it out there. So that is what it really is.
Okay, all right. Let's come back to what we said before. So global perspectives as a cultural ambassador, because you're a cultural ambassador, you have traveled how many countries now?
24?
Yes, last count, yes. About 24, last count. Now,
yes.
So as a cultural ambassador for this country, what do you think we should dwell on in the story we are sharing with the world? Because already you have said something here.
Yes.
If we keep pumping out stories about the poverty, about the impoverishment, about the filthiness, about the environmental damages, then
that's how we'll be viewed. And we're already viewed that way.
Already.
You know. But the thing is, how do we repair this? Do we have another country? Me, I don't. And this one is the one I have. And really, I grew up in this city. I've seen things. And I intend to share that with the world. So when I go out to all these places, I find myself having to really educate people out there about the beauty of us. It's such a beautiful country. If you really take time out to look around,
that, yes.
It's really beautiful. And for a photographer, I have really captured beautiful things around here. And I'm talking about on land, underwater, you know, doing all that and just showing that. So when people out there see this and see that, they understand that everywhere in the world today, really, there's no hiding place anymore.
For any country.
Honestly, and that's the fact. And you know, with internet, it blows this news out of proportion. Paris, I mean Europe, all these places we dream about, really, you could get stabbed anytime. But they don't.
You can get killed on the street, yes.
You could get stabbed, you could get shot. I mean, they don't talk about that.
But whereas we will talk about our own.
It's the headline constantly. It's a big city, a city of almost 30 million people doing things. Things are happening. But we need to carry it. We need to put this balance to it. And that's how we can sell this country. And that's how we can document our history. And that's how we can make people want to come.
Okay, something I must mention to our viewers. Incidentally, we got married here. His reception was here in Lagos. And the unique thing about that reception, if I must quickly go to it, was the fact that you used Keke Marwa.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
Actually, it was my wife's idea.
That you should use Keke Marwa?
Yes. We had friends from all around the world flying in. So we had over 40 friends from as far as Japan, from Hungary, from Belgium, from the US, and from the UK, and all around. So they came in, and we thought of how to move them from the wedding reception to the registry. And so when she first suggested it, I thought, it's a federal road, and we did it. And honestly, Nigerians stood up. And before we knew it, it was all over the internet, all over the world. And it inspires people to you don't have to borrow your uncle's car to do a wedding. You just use whatever you have. The most important part of it is that your marriage is registered. You see, the rest is all right. It's your wedding. Just do it. So, which was what we did, and Nigerians really
they
applauded that, and people are inspired. And I've seen a lot of people do it in the last few years too. So it's good to be at the forefront.
Yes. Okay, I like that again. So that is pointing at you that what it's trying to say is this: Keke Marwa for a wedding, there is nothing wrong with it. As a matter of fact, it is just uniquely your own opinion on how to, express yourself. That is beautiful. That's art for you in the making. Now we are looking at about 100 million Nigerian youths. That's where the demographic is pointing right now. So you have just given us a hint. So how can we mobilize this huge reserve of energy?
This huge reserve of growing energy.
Yes.
Because, the youth would grow. So how do we equip this youth? I still go back to identity. I still go back to the good use of the internet. Today, 2 decades ago, if you really wanted to put something out, if you don't put it on NTA, nobody in Nigeria would know. Yes.
Absolutely true.
Yes. Today, just in your toilet, you could just post that thing and it goes viral and things start happening. So we have that opportunity
now.
Yes, we have that now. How many would choose to go about it, I may not be able to explain. I'm just one human being. I'm just an individual doing my thing, an independent individual. So how do we contribute using the internet to our favor, not to swindling people? So that's,
I like that.
So
I like that.
The internet matters a lot. we can use it to our
Okay,
favor.
I like that. I like what Bolaji has just said there, because again, that's another part of the narrative we are hearing about Nigeria. It's just the Yahoo boys. He says, no, you can do more with the internet than just being a Yahoo boy. So now let's look at, so where did we take the wrong turn? Because you see, the cultural expressions, heritage, everybody has agreed. You have even mentioned it here. The fact that the Obavara, when it was taken away, I mean, that was a new narrative. Even the Oni of Ife, that's another narrative. Even you go to the north, you find all sorts of narratives, okay? Now, so where did we get it? Which turn did we take that has now made it impossible for us to generate income from all these things that you have mentioned here? Where did we go wrong?
I think making it impossible is something I don't ever consider. I think it is possible for us
Okay,
to...
making it impossible should not be a consideration.
Really, it shouldn't be. I mean, as long as you are alive and you are able, there's a way.
Once there's a will, there's a way.
There's a way. So maybe as a form of reorientation, because I think years of military rule really
Also contributed to
really destroyed our mentality. I'm not trying to attribute Nigeria's problems to
just military rule.
It's a combination of different things stemming from centuries ago, when people were taken away from here to the so-called new world.
Yes.
So it's
cumulative.
We've been battered by different cultures. So for the average Nigerian today, it's a lot of things to get through to be able to really find that identity. And that's what we have to really work on. Once we're able to work on that, the world would accept us really well and clearly, without all those
negatives.
Okay,
now let's come back to redefining how the millennial can, because you have said it's the miasma of cultural, influences over the years may have changed the perception of Nigerians.
Yeah.
So how to get the millennial now to come into redefining, or to define properly where we are as a people? Do you think it's got to do with ethnicity? Is it tribal? Is it, or is just that it's human? It's
well, naturally human beings would always find their kind, find the people you reason with. It's natural and it's okay. But we should be able to live together
as a people.
As a people, we should be able to, settle our differences without looking into some of these things you see. So once we are able to put all of these together as a people, greatness is definitely beckoning.
For the nation?
Yes. So we need to put that aside. Growing up in Lagos, for example, I have friends from everywhere in Nigeria, and we grew up here. And we speak one language of Yoruba, of Igbo, of whatever it is, and we work together and we do things. So why can't we harness that part of us? So that's what we are doing mainly.
Okay, all right. It's never over with us on the Close Flow, because you are part of the conversation. We are expecting you to join us. I would advise that you look at our WhatsApp numbers when we come back, so that you can send in your comment or your question and let our guests, because already he has said to us, we need to redefine our own story. We shouldn't wait for people to tell our stories for us. And you have the camera in your hands. It's not just about Yahoo. It should be about something better than that. That's what he's saying. So, Bolaji, stay here. You join us shortly when we come back.
We must dilate the eyes. We look for if they have cataract, look at the back of their eyes. They have glaucoma. We do a full workup for them.
You will remember the giant stripe they will their eyes, especially southwest of the state.
When we're looking deeper than we ever looked in before, to ensure that we close all the loopholes.
Then I think we'll
Manifest as physical
somewhere.
Every edition is an arresting conversation with distinguished Nigerians from various strata of the society, bearing their minds on how we can realize the Nigeria of our dreams. Join us live on Close Flow, Monday, every week here on NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Close Flow. The conversation is about you.
Thank you for staying with us, and thank you for staying close as well too, because that's what is important to Bolaji, and he's just asking me, so when are you going to join us? So I've said to him, well, all of you should be ready to join us now. The WhatsApp number, quickly, so you can let's have your question or your comment, or maybe you want to be motivated. Maybe you want to see how you can become a photographer. All right, so you can now ask him, and he will probably tell you how to go about it. The WhatsApp number 08020384130. Let me run that again. 08020384130. That's WhatsApp. Just go in there right now and let's have your comments, let's have your questions, and let's have your contribution. Because maybe you don't agree with some of the things that Bolaji has said, you know, about the way we can define what is best for Nigeria. So let's have your comment. Or you can send us SMS, just in case you have data issue, you have issues with your data, you don't have enough data. Send us SMS, and this line is dedicated to SMS. No voice call, please. It's just SMS or WhatsApp. Let's have your comment. 080-6350-8434. 080-6350-8434. Bolaji is here, and I told you he's a cultural ambassador. He's been to over almost 30 countries all over the world, telling the story of Nigeria and also sharing his experiences with Nigeria. Now, quickly, going green. Going green, is that a platitude, or do you believe it can actually be a motive to change our attitude?
Going green, again, is about us. We are green. Before you move...
As a people.
As a people. Before you move from here to there, it is green everywhere. It's a rainforest here, so it is green.
Naturally.
Naturally.
So what's this campaign about there?
And green signifies prosperity, plenitude,
fruitfulness.
Fruitfulness. But inside of this our green, what is going on in it? So as we cover the beauty of it, we need to cover the reality of it as well. While as we talk about it, we are not throwing the truth away. So it goes to the last exhibition we had.
Yes.
Called Greener Pastures.
Yes.
Greener Pastures is, I say is because it's an ongoing discourse.
Expression, yes.
Yes. Ekpe, the eastern part of Nigeria.
Lagos, yes.
Lagos. We showed it in a way, we shared it in a way with people that they've never ever seen, which is this part of our narrative. We're showing it from the top. We're showing it in ways people from these villages have never ever seen their village. Beautiful. But at the same time, we are looking at the reality and the lack of public health care, public education going on there.
And public environment.
No good water for them to drink. So we are now talking about these issues as well.
So you're balancing the stories.
It's just concerned artists, concerned citizen, and independent, talking about what is going on and nudging the government to, please look at this place. Here is what is going on. They need these things. Children are here. This big number we are talking about, they are already growing. How do we educate them? And the response has been wonderful. We've had people, we've had friends, we've even had Lagos State government, LASWA, Lagos State Waterways Authorities.
Yes.
They are in on this with us to provide solutions to the problems faced by these people in the coastal communities.
Yes.
People have no idea we even share Lagos with them like that. When you talk about Ekpe, people think of Ekpe town.
And the canoes.
Yeah, and the fish market. But there are villages deep inside. And these are things, they face beautiful places that could drive tourism as time goes on. So we need to call on the certain agencies to do something about it, and it would be a huge advantage for us.
Okay, well, again, there's some way we can run away from the fact that there are political undertones to some of these deliverables that we're talking about here. Okay, so some people are of the opinion that the governance in Nigeria is still very primitive, is personality based rather than policy driven.
Political undertone. I am an artist,
Yes.
a concerned artist.
Yes.
Well, of course, everything in life is political if you choose to look at it that way. But when it is talk about human rights, I think for a sympathetic government, we have to put every political matters aside, address the human rights issues. When citizens sharing this beautiful city with us cannot gain access to potable water,
Then you should be able to speak up.
so political, I think, in my opinion, has no place. We need to address that and address it now. So how do we get that out there? How do I get that out there as a photographer, as a journalist, using my platform?
Yes.
So we offer the people living there our platform, not just representing. You have this platform, talk to the world. And the response has been great. Very soon I just received the syllabus for children there. We have friends, we have concerned citizens who want to contribute books that will be taken there.
Amazing.
So things are
Amazing.
beginning to happen.
Amazing. Okay, all right, that's a good news. At least we are saying the positivity in some of the things that we are talking about here. The campaign itself is already coming with some results, you know, measurable results. So let's see how that again is going to accelerate the change we want in our environment. Hello, can you tell us about your last exhibition? You just mentioned it, Greener Pastures. What is the impact level? Okay, well, you have mentioned it, but it's good that
Yes. Like I said, the impact level is still on. I mean, the impact level is why I am here right now. So it's on, and we're having all hands on deck. We are going to be contributing books. We're taking books to Ekpe very soon. You know, the session is just starting. So we are in close touch with these people. Now, this green part of us, we are using as a microcosm for the rest of the country.
You take it in a nutshell and then you begin to spread it.
Yes, because, you know, there are thousands and thousands of villages all around the coastal part of Nigeria.
Yes.
And when I say coastal, there's the inland waterways too.
Yes, sure.
And these people are faced with all sorts of difficulties, and we need to address it.
Okay, all right. Coastal Nigeria, we are looking at about 500, almost 600 kilometers actually, but that's just
I
coastal.
think it's 800.
800 kilometers.
From Lagos to
Uyo, yes, it's about 800
yes.
kilometers.
800, yes.
We are not talking about the inland waterways now.
No.
Okay, all right, so we will see how we therefore take this green from where we are started at the Ekpe and spread it to the other locations. That's what you're saying.
Yes. parts of
Okay,
Nigeria.
all right. Now, some people have said one other drawback in Nigeria is the Nigerian factor. So what exactly is the Nigerian factor?
That's hard to explain. It still goes back to reorientation. We have been battered, like I say, over the decades.
Yes.
We've been, you know, it's been from one
Traumatic
you
experience.
know, yes, for us as a people. I mean, as a child, for me in this city, as a child, bomo was a thing.
Kidnapping.
Kidnapping.
Yes.
So sometimes when you find people romanticizing the past, you know, things have been happening, and now it's now like we are more. It's now there's the internet. It's all out there. So how do you go through this and still be able to sell this narrative?
As positive.
It's an ongoing process.
Okay, all right, that is a big one, but how do we now begin to look at ourselves as progressive? That is what Bolaji is saying here. Now, do you agree with the sentiment that nation building in Nigeria is more mercantile, that is self-interest rather than, you know, people-centric? Because here now, you have given us the story of what is happening. We're going green, using Ekpe as an example, that is people-centric.
Yeah.
But people have said, no, that is not the usual manner of doing business in Nigeria or being governed in Nigeria. That being governed in Nigeria is mercantile. You know, it's about what comes into my pocket.
Yes, unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves. But again, that is still not the only way out. And if we've been trying things out, we are seeing that, okay, this imbalance is obvious to anybody to see why I can't just
sit down and just
try something else. And I think we are beginning to be stared right in the eye to do something else, because the old way does not work. So we have to make it about the people. It has to be about the people. And we need to find the solution to this by not allowing all these political rhetorics and all of these things divide us. We
or hold us back.
When we really look at our history, we have no idea how mixed we are, even as a people. East and West,
North
how
and South.
our parents were, we have no idea. So for me, the only thing is to respect one another and let's move forward.
That is the preaching you're going to put on the street there. That we need to respect each other as a people.
You know, the question was about how we are. So this reorientation, we need to change it. We need to look at our beauty. We need to celebrate it.
All right. You have carried out various campaigns and exhibitions. So now the question would be that the target of those campaigns and exhibitions will probably be the Nigerian elites and the privileged class. So do you think they are ready to return to the era of supporting social engagement, social changes, social, do you think they are, because already this is what you're saying here right now.
Yes. The thing is, if the Nigerian elite will not do anything, the foreigners will continue to tell our story.
Oh, we run that risk.
Yes. So the arts needs support. Definitely. Artists, and this is the best time to be an artist. There's a huge focus on Nigerian arts. We should ride on that. Not for others to be making the money off our back on this. So it's time to get on it. So, and we need support. If the Nigerian the Nigerian government does not support, we will continue to have
negative stories.
The foreign organizations will come in. And as you know, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So the narrative would always continue to be skewed. So we need to stand up as a people. Now the government is involved here. The creatives need the support.
Yeah.
We are the mouthpiece. Our music is what the rest of the world listens to. Our art, everybody wants to really pay attention because there's so much from the time of our ancestors that has been going on from here. And really, it's just with the internet, all this information is beginning to come out.
Emerge, yes.
So how do we take it beyond just the internet? Hence exhibitions, where I can have you come in physically, where I can have that person who doesn't have the internet to come witness the story and create that atmosphere for you to see that we have a voice.
Okay, that is an immersive experience. So how do we get that immersive experience, for instance, into Nollywood, where we have the huge opportunities? Some people say that actually one single movie can generate as many as, get employment for about minimum of 50 persons?
Yes. Nollywood, which I'm proud part of,
yes,
has been really, really wonderful in driving and helping, mold our identity as a people. But again, as many other things, we need to do more. And we're beginning to see now fantastic, great quality pictures coming out of here on Netflix that is being seen all around the world. So this is where we have arrived, even as we have faltered over the years.
Yes.
But, it's beginning to have form. Still, again, it goes to back support, the required support. I mean, National Theatre, for example, National Theatre that used to be the place for
the Citadel
for every growing artists hasn't been functional for like the last 2 decades. Fortunately, the government through central bank is beginning to do so. Hopefully, we will be able to. But I think for everybody, wherever you are, just do what you can.
That's what you're saying?
Yes, just don't give up. Don't give up. The system needs all hands on deck.
Okay, all right. Again, let's go back to what we said earlier on, how to generate tourism traffic tourism traffic, even a country as small as Thailand was able to pull in about 40 million every year visitors coming to look at what they have in Thailand.
Yes, even as individuals, as we are doing our own, the will by the government is important. We need policies to drive this.
I like that.
You don't want to land at Muritala Mohammed Airport
And face all sorts
and
of...
you face this huge queue for nothing. And you're coming from other countries, you see how it works. You don't want to do that. That would not help tourism. So we need to ease all this bottleneck, this protocol, this bureaucracy. That, number one, get those out of the way. Then security. You need government for this as well. So
We can be hearing that somebody...
yeah, people being kidnapped, you know, here and there, you know, that really is not good for tourism. So we need to address all of these issues. Once we can do this, as I'm talking to you, I see people who really travel to Nigeria. I've met a few people like that. I've met people. They just come. They want to see it. But it takes being that crazy one,
yeah.
Because every time before they leave wherever they are leaving from, everybody's telling them, you are crazy. And they come and they have the best of times. So how do we make that big? We need the government to, in that aspect. So if that will is there, if that support is there, it will continue. So Nollywood is doing very, very well, and I am very proud.
Okay, yes, it's not just Nollywood. Even already the Nigerian music scene has become the imperial power on the continent. Now, so that's part of your hobby as well, too.
Yes.
So, but people are saying that our musical experiences or expressions are becoming too sexually, expressive.
Well, it's music. It's the art. There's anything wrong with sex? No.
Well, not necessarily, but
There's a lot wrong with violence. Right? So I don't think there's any big deal to music being the way they are. They are entertainers. They tell a story in their own way.
Yes.
If it is good, it sells. If it is not good, it
will not
doesn't. So, the focus on this moralistic part of it also, I think sometimes is overflogged. Enjoy the music. So that's where I stand on this. And really, the world listens to our music.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So that means they are doing something good.
Yes. That means they're doing something
Yes.
good. Okay, all right. So the jury is out there. You can also join Bolaji to decide whether it is sexual expressiveness or it is just beautiful music that you are getting. Now, let's look at the fact that, again, when you are the eyes of the Lagos boy. Now, will that be coming from the Ajegunle side, or will that be coming from the Lekki side, or will that be coming from the Ikoyi side, or will that be coming from Surulere? Because all these are the areas where you...
Yes.
Yes.
It's coming from everywhere. We have our reality in Lagos. You are born in Ajegunle, you are born in Ikoyi, you are born in Agege. It is still the same Lagos, just like any other city in the world. You have the elites, you have the whatnot, you have everybody all sharing the same city. If there's an earthquake, we will all share it together.
Yes.
As I'm talking to you, I lived in Oman. Oman is in the Middle East.
Yes.
Currently, as we speak, they are being battered by cyclone. So I'm having, this morning, I'm having to really connect with friends there. So there is, when things like that happen, there is no rich man, there is no poor man. Everybody is affected. So the experience of Eyes of a Lagos Boy is about all of us. And little wonder, this project sells all around the world. Our fashion is everywhere, all around the planet. So you don't even have to be from Lagos to share from this experience. Eyes of a Lagos Boy. So sometimes when you're traveling and you...
one second, for our viewers, you are probably going to lose a chance to get a t-shirt. If you don't get your comment in the next 5-10 minutes, that means you have lost the opportunity to get a free t-shirt from, an endorsed t-shirt from our guest. Okay, go on, yes, go on.
So Eyes of a Lagos Boy talks about the experience of this Lagos person. we have Eyes of a Lagos Girl too, because you know when this started 4 years ago, of course, the women folk were like, yes, girls. Also, last year we created Eyes of a Lagos Girl. So it's about our experience. These eyes I've seen. Whether you are from wherever. And also, so we must talk about what we've seen. We must celebrate us and pay attention sometimes to the beauty of us.
Okay, all right. Again, I'm not going to let him go free because whilst we celebrate the ideals, we cannot run away from the fact that there are some, you know, as it were, risk factors which we have not dealt with properly. So, 61 years old as a nation. What's your overview?
It's still work in progress.
Candidly, that's your opinion.
It's a work in progress.
It's not a dead end yet.
It's not a dead end yet, and it's not the worst country in the world, really. I can say that for sure. It's not. Things still manage to work. We just need to put our acts together. That's it. So we're still.
So you're not losing hope.
I don't have another country. This is the country, and we can't all run away. We will only have to fix it using every instrument we can.
Okay, now let's juxtapose it. So if you are going to come to life again, would you prefer to come to Nigeria, or would you prefer to go to Oman, or would you prefer to get born in Belgium, or would you rather go to Canada?
Belgium. That's where my wife is from. Well, I think for those who believe, that's for those who believe in reincarnation.
Yes.
I'd rather come back as a Nigerian.
You will still want to come back as a Nigerian?
Yes. Yes.
Bolaji.
Yes. I mean, this city has given me everything. I mean, from primary school to secondary school to secondary schools.
Yes,
secondary schools.
Yes.
To university. It's not been easy, really. Of course, big thanks to my family, big thanks to my team. But really, I mean, this is my city. The city made me, and I can only tell the story.
Okay, well, for the city that has made you, so how do you? Can you find us maybe just one sentence to tell us about this Lagos that has made you? Something uniquely yours about Lagos.
Wonderful. Lagos is energy packed. It's beautiful, and it's what you make of it.
It is what you make of it.
Lagos is what you make of it.
So Lagos can be good to you, or it can be bad to you. It depends on how you.
It depends on it depends on your perception. It is what you make of it, and we all cannot have the same experience. It's a wonderful city. It still stands in spite of it all.
Okay, as a smart city, do you think it can meet up to the global standard?
It's getting there. It's getting there. It's not been easy. I mean, look at the rail line from from the west. No, not even that. From the western part of Lagos,
Yes, that's Badagry.
Yes. It would work someday. It's taken 11 years though. It would work. So we will get there. The pace has just been the problem. But what do we do with this slowness of pace? Those of us as citizens in between. Are we going to sit and moan or complain? Or we could just do what we can.
Play our own part.
Yes, document our history. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, okay, that's Bolaji. That's my little brother. You know, I can't tell you about him because he virtually grew up on my laps. Well, we'll talk about that another day. You know, okay. So like all of you start thinking of me as an old man. You know, right? Okay, but so thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, we hope to have him again because it's 2 in 1 now. So we hope to have him again. Maybe towards the Yuletide, we should be looking at that. Okay, but for us, the conversation is never over on Close Flow. Please try and go to all our social media handles and see how you can continue this conversation. It's a pity some of you missed the T-shirt. You'll have enjoyed the Eyes of a Lagos Boy T-shirt, but you did not send in your comment or your question, and therefore we cannot give you any freebie. Now, for more of our distinguished guests, you have to join us next week again when we shall unveil yet another part of our narrative. Until then, it's bye from us.
Congratulations. I have a message for you. God has sent me to you. I have a message for you. God has sent me to you. Listen, them say, them tell you, say you can never be the one. But God say, make I tell you, say now you him choose in 1 month, in 1 week. You will sing a new song in 2 days, a lesser than you will hear. Congratulations.